What if I told you that your biggest obstacle in life is you? That's the hard truth behind Jocko Willink's extreme ownership. The difference between good and great leaders is ownership. Willink, a former Navy SEAL, argues that success isn't about circumstances, it's about accountability. And long before SEAL teams existed, the Bible was teaching this very same principle. Welcome back to the Daily Lift. We live in a world where blame is second nature. It's so easy to point fingers at coworkers, leaders, and even life itself. But Willink makes it clear, ownership is the difference between good and great leaders. In Extreme Ownership, he tells stories from his time in combat, showing how taking full responsibility, even if it's not technically your fault, creates stronger teams and better outcomes. The Bible echoes this truth. In Genesis 3, Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, and humanity has been making excuses ever since. But Proverbs 28:13 says, "Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy." Growth begins when we stop shifting blame and start owning our actions. And taking ownership isn't about just admitting fault. It's about leading with discipline. Willink teaches that discipline equals freedom. At first, that sounds contradictory, but think about it. The more disciplined you are with time, the more freedom you have to do what truly matters. The more disciplined you are with your finances, the more financial freedom that you'll have. Paul taught this very same thing in 1 Corinthians 9:27. He says, "I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified." True freedom isn't doing whatever we want. It's having the self-control to do what's right. Willink applies this principle to leadership, but the concept of ownership runs even deeper in our faith. Philippians 2:12 reminds us to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. Our walk with God isn't about waiting for someone else to guide us. It's about taking personal responsibility for our faith, our actions, and influence. Just as great leaders own their decisions, Christians are called to own their spiritual growth. Extreme Ownership is a book that every leader should read, but it only scratches the surface of a truth that the Bible has taught for generations. Real strength is found in accountability. Leaders take ownership. Christians take ownership. So hold yourself accountable, lead with discipline, set the example for others to follow, and as always, go lift somebody up.